breathe deeply, and let the sound of the machine settle in your mind. Imagine a world where the sky is red with smoke and the ground trembles with endless labor. The horizon glows not with sunlight, but with the pale, wavering fire of furnaces that have burned for 10,000 years without pause. This is not a place where the wind carries birdsong. Instead, the air hums with static, with the low and patient thrum of engines, and with the hissing of steam rising from vents that pierce the crust of the planet like the lungs of some mechanical beast. Welcome, listener, to a forge world of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Welcome to a place where men are not men, and machines are not only machines. The first thing you notice here is the stillness beneath the noise. The sounds are constant, grinding gears, chanting voices, the far-off crash of assembly lines hammering into motion. But together they become a kind of silence. A silence that consumes thought, a silence that feels eternal. The people of this world do not live in the way you know life. They do not wake with the sun or dream beneath the stars. Their days and nights are dictated by the rhythm of industry, by the eternal service of the Omnissiah, the machine god. Across the blackened soil stand cathedrals of iron and brass. Their spires stab the heavens, carved with circuitry-like designs and crowned with rotating cogwheel icons. Beneath their shadows, rivers of molten metal flow, their glow casting moving shadows on walls scarred by centuries of ritual. The air tastes of oil and iron, and always, there is the smell of burning incense, thick enough to sting the lungs. The incense is not for beauty nor comfort. It is for sanctity, for purification. For the faithful of the machine god, every cog, every tool, every wire is sacred. Within these halls you will find the tech priests. They walk slowly, robed in red, their forms hidden beneath layers of fabric and steel. What lies beneath those robes is not easily named as human. Augmetic limbs glint in the low light, the fingers replaced with tools. Syringes, grasping claws, welding torches. Tubes run beneath their skin, pulsing faintly with fluids whose colors are not natural to the human body. Their faces, what can still be seen of them, are pale, drained, and drawn. Most conceal their features behind masks of bronze or steel, lenses glowing faintly where eyes once looked upon the world. They speak rarely, and when they do, their words are not like yours. Their voices rasp with static. Human tones overlap with mechanical distortion. Words are stretched, doubled, or tripled, as if another, unseen voice speaks with them. When they greet one another, it is often not with language but with the exchange of binary code, bursts of sound like broken radio waves, chittering, high-pitched, incomprehensible to those who still cling to flesh. Listen closely and you may hear it now, the whisper of the machine, the prayer of data. It trickles constantly, an undercurrent beneath their chants, beneath the roaring of forges. A million fragments of binary praise carried on every breath, repeated without end. 1,101,000. Praise the Omnissiah 1,100,010. Flesh is weakness at first. It may seem peaceful. The tech priests move with slow purpose, every motion measured, every gesture rehearsed. Their temples are orderly, their rituals calm, their devotion unwavering. But look deeper, and the horror begins to show. Each step is weighted not with grace, but with the drag of machinery replacing bone. Each prayer hides the truth that those who speak it have surrendered everything you hold dear. The smile of a child, the warmth of touch, the soft beat of a living heart. These are traded away, stripped piece by piece, until nothing remains but function. And yet they do not mourn this loss. They celebrate it. They call it ascension. There was a time long ago when these people were as human as you. But to serve the machine god, to protect the knowledge of the ancients, they gave up their humanity willingly. One by one, their limbs were replaced. One by one, their organs were exchanged for devices of iron and brass. Even their thoughts were rewired, their memories rewritten, their dreams replaced with the endless litany of maintenance and ritual. Still, they stand proud. To them, flesh is frailty. To them, weakness lies in hunger, in pain, in fear. The machine does not hunger. The machine does not fear. The machine endures, and so they seek to become as machines. They bow before engines and offer prayers to the circuits, not as metaphor but as worship. For in every cog they see divinity. In every bolt they hear the voice of the Omnissiah. It is said that the machine god speaks to them through static, through the language of the binary. They believe that each fragment of ancient technology is a fragment of the divine. A broken circuit board is not broken to them. It is holy scripture, its meaning lost but its sanctity intact. They do not create, they restore, they repeat, they preserve. To invent is heresy, to question is sin. And so they labor endlessly, their work both magnificent and terrible. They craft weapons to shatter worlds, engines to carry fleets across the stars, machines that blot out the skies of entire planets. And always they chant, always they pray. Their temples echo not with laughter but with litanies. Their altars drip not with wine but with oil. Their hymns rise not to the heavens but to the machine. When you look into the eyes of a tech priest, if eyes still remain, you will not find the warmth of recognition. You will find only reflection, cold lenses staring back at you. And if you listen long enough, you may notice something deeper beneath the static of their voices. A pattern, a whisper, the suggestion that perhaps the tech priests are not the only ones listening, that perhaps, somewhere within the machine, something listens back. This is the introduction to their world. A world of silence wrapped in noise, of devotion wrapped in horror. A world where men are no longer men but not yet gods. They are something else, something between, something inhuman. And you, listener, are welcome to walk among them for a time. You may hear their prayers, you may feel the heat of their forges. But remember this always. When the tech priests speak, they speak not to you. They speak to the machine. And sometimes the machine whispers back. Close your eyes, listener, and imagine a cathedral, vast beyond comprehension. Its walls are not stone, but iron. Its stained glass windows are not filled with colored light, but shifting lines of green data. Its bells do not toll with bronze, but with the grinding turn of massive gears. This is the heart of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Not a single temple, but every forge world, every manufactorum, every machine across the galaxy. For wherever there is a spark of electricity, wherever there is a humming circuit, they hear the voice of their god. The Adeptus Mechanicus are not simply a faction within the Imperium of man. They are its lifeblood. They are the ones who keep the stars alight. Without them, the great void ships would fall silent. Without them, the guns of the Imperial Guard would rust in their barracks. Without them, the sacred titans would stand motionless, their reactor hearts cold. The Imperium may worship the Emperor, but it survives only by the grace of the Omnissiah, the machine god, and the servants who carry out his will. The nature of the Mechanicus is devotion. Devotion without doubt, without hesitation, without rest. Their creed is simple, whispered endlessly like a mantra in the dark. The flesh is weak. The machine is eternal. The Omnissiah provides. To them, every part of the human body is a flaw. The flesh is soft, it rots, it aches, it fails. Bones splinter, skin tears, lungs wheeze and collapse. But the machine does not fail. Gears do not tire. Pistons do not weep. A circuit once whole is eternal, so long as it is maintained and honored. And so, the tech priests strip away their weakness piece by piece. A hand is replaced with a claw of iron, tipped with tools more precise than any finger. Eyes are taken, replaced with lenses that see in ultraviolet, in thermal, in spectrums unknown to mortal men. The heart is cut away, replaced with a pump that ticks in rhythm with the beat of ancient engines. Even the voice is not spared. The human tongue is discarded, and in its place a vox implant speaks in tones that are half whisper, half static. This is not seen as mutilation. It is worship. Each sacrifice of flesh is a gift to the Omnissiah. Each replacement is a step closer to divinity. They call these augmentations blessings. To receive a new implant, to lose another fragment of one's humanity, is a sacred moment. The tech priest does not mourn the loss of an eye or a limb or a lung. They celebrate it with incense, with chant, with the sizzle of oil anointing metal. In this way, the Adeptus Mechanicus are less a brotherhood than a hierarchy of transformation. At the lowest levels are the menials, still mostly human, their bodies frail, their purpose to serve as the laboring hands of the forges. Above them are the engine seers, the keepers of machines who have surrendered much of their humanity already, their bodies bent with implants and wiring. Higher still, the tech priests proper, robed in crimson, their limbs more augmetic than flesh, their faces more mask than skin. Their humanity is nearly gone, replaced by the serenity of steel. Yet even they are but acolytes compared to the Magi, vast and terrible figures who are more machine than man. Their bodies are hunched and swollen with cybernetic grafts, mechadendrites spilling from their spines like the tendrils of some great mechanical spider. Their voices are deep and resonant, layered with distortion, every word echoing with command. And beyond even them, whispered only in reverent tones, are the archmagi and the fabricator generals. These beings are almost beyond comprehension, their forms so altered, so mechanical, that the word human no longer applies. Some are suspended in life support frames the size of buildings, their bodies nothing but brains and organs kept alive by machines older than empires. Others float on anti-gravity thrones, their faces hidden entirely, their voices emerging as coded signals more than speech. They are the apex of Mechanicus devotion, the total erasure of flesh, the complete embrace of the machine. Yet for all their piety there is fear in their hearts, not fear of enemies, not fear of death, fear of knowledge. For the Adeptus Mechanicus do not create, they do not innovate. To invent is heresy. To question the sacred schematics of the ancients is blasphemy. The blueprints they follow are relics from a bygone era, the dark age of technology, when man's knowledge rivaled the gods themselves. The tech priests do not understand these designs. They only preserve them like priests chanting scripture they can no longer translate. When a new machine is built, it is not designed, it is recited. Each part is placed according to ancient litanies, each bolt fastened in time with sacred prayers. The tech priests believe the knowledge of the ancients was divine, and that their duty is not to add to it, but to honor it. And so they repeat endlessly with trembling hands and binary voices. The flesh is weak, the machine is eternal. This too is the nature of their faith, preservation at all costs. And yet, hidden within that preservation lies horror. Imagine a tech priest repairing a war engine. He chants softly as he welds, whispering binary prayers into the metal. His voice is calm, hypnotic, but look closer and you will see the truth. His eyes are blank lenses, unblinking. His skin is pale, stretched tightly around augmetics. His mouth is sealed, his words emerging only from a Vox synth embedded deep within his throat. His fingers do not end in flesh, but in steel pincers, clicking softly as they work. He is calm, he is precise, but he is no longer human. The rituals that bind him to his God have stripped him bare. And though he stands tall, though he chants, though he works, there is nothing behind his mask but the silence of the machine. This is the contradiction of the Mechanicus. They believe they are ascending, that they are becoming gods, but what they truly become is emptiness. Their faith is so total, so absolute, that they no longer remember what it was to be human. They are shells, filled not with blood and dreams, but with oil and data. Some whisper that the omnissiah they worship is not what they believe, that the machine god is no god at all, but something far older, far darker, perhaps a remnant of the men of iron, the artificial intelligences that once nearly destroyed mankind. Perhaps something alien, whispering through the circuits, pleased to be mistaken for divinity. Perhaps nothing at all, only the echoes of machines running long after their masters have died. But the tech priests do not question. They cannot. To doubt is heresy. To question is to be purged. And so they whisper their binary hymns. They trade flesh for steel. They kneel before machines that may not care, may not even hear them. Their faith is calm, eternal, and utterly inhuman. And so the galaxy turns, sustained by their labor. The Adeptus Mechanicus keep the ships of the Imperium alive. They fuel its wars. They maintain its weapons. They whisper to its machines. They are everywhere, and yet they are nowhere. For they are not men and not gods, but something between. Something that waits. Something that listens. Close your eyes and return once more to the Forge world. The air is heavy, as it always is, with smoke and incense. The hum of machinery presses against your thoughts like a constant tide. At first, it feels soothing, almost like the steady rhythm of a heartbeat. Yet the longer you listen, the more it begins to press upon you, crowding your mind, filling every quiet corner with static. It is not silence. It is not noise. It is something in between, endless, suffocating, eternal. You walk through the Manufactoria, the endless halls of iron where weapons are birthed, where machines are tended as though they are children. The air is warm here, tinged with the sting of oil. Sparks leap and die across the stone floors, falling like false stars. And in the half-light you see them, the workers, the laborers, the faithful tools of the machine god. At first they look human, faces bent in concentration, arms lifted, backs bowed beneath labor. But then you notice the cables. Thick, dark cables running from their spines into the ceilings above. Their skin hangs loose around the implants, puckered and scarred. Their eyes are clouded, some replaced with glowing lenses that click faintly as they shift focus. A few do not have eyes at all, only hollow sockets where tiny servos twitch, forever scanning, forever watching. They move in silence, save for the hissing of hydraulics and the low groan of pistons in their limbs. Their mouths are open slightly as though they were about to speak, but no words come. The tech priests call them servitors. The word tastes empty, hollow, but once these were men and women, flesh and blood souls who spoke, who laughed, who wept. Now their voices are gone, carved out along with their will. Their minds have been cut away with surgical precision, leaving only enough to obey, enough to move, enough to serve. The parts that dreamed, the parts that remembered, the parts that loved, those have been removed, left to wither in silence. The body remains, stitched with steel, fused with augmetics, reshaped into function. A hand is gone, replaced with a drill. A leg is missing, replaced with a crude piston that hisses with every step. A jaw hangs loosely, broken, but reinforced with iron braces so that the head will not collapse while the body continues to work. And yet you can still see them. You can still see the human faces. A curve of the lips, a line of the cheek, a scar across the brow. Ghosts of the people they were, hanging limply upon frames that are no longer theirs. It is this faint trace of humanity, that unsettles most of all. For the servitor is not wholly machine, nor wholly man. It is trapped between forever, and it cannot speak of what it has lost. If there is a soul still buried deep within, it must be screaming. But no one hears. No one listens. The tech priests do not see horror in these things. They see only obedience. They call this a gift, a second life in service of the Omnissiah. They say the flesh is weak, but the machine is eternal. Yet when you stand here, and you hear the faint wheeze of a servitor's failing lungs beneath the hiss of its mechanical arm, you wonder if eternity is truly a blessing. The priests gather often in their temples, their crimson robes sweeping the ground, their augmetic limbs clattering softly in rhythm. They do not come to laugh. They do not come to speak of the day. They come to perform rituals of maintenance. To the Adeptus Mechanicus, the tending of machines is not labor. It is worship. Picture them encircling a vast engine, their movements slow and deliberate. One reaches out with a tool arm, its tip glowing faintly as it welds a joint. Another pours oil into an opening, the black liquid dripping like holy water upon an altar. Incense curls in the air, so thick you can taste it, bitter and metallic. Their voices rise in chant, not in any language you know, but in the crackle of binary. Harsh tones, clipped bursts, whispers like broken radios chattering in the dark. It is prayer, a hymn of static, a lullaby for the machine. At first it seems solemn, almost peaceful. the steady rhythm of their voices, the gentle glow of their lenses, the patient way their metal hands caress the machine's surface as though soothing a slumbering child. But the longer you watch, the more wrong it becomes. Their movements are not affectionate. They are obsessive. Their voices are not harmonious. They are dissonant, layered in strange mechanical distortion that rattles the bones. The incense does not soothe. It chokes, heavy and acrid, sinking into your lungs until each breath feels strained. The machine they worship is silent, its bulk looming like some massive idol in the half-light. It does not respond. It does not stir. And yet, as the chanting continues, as the binary whisper builds, you feel something beneath the silence. Something that is not sound but pressure. A weight upon the mind. A suggestion that perhaps the machine does listen. That perhaps the machine is awake. One tech priest steps forward, his face hidden behind a bronze mask. His mechadendrites uncurl, long tendrils tipped with instruments, syringes, blades. They press against the machine's surface, drawing symbols in oil, tracing sacred geometries. His vox voice rasps through static, every syllable doubled as though another voice speaks with him. The others respond in unison, their binary chant rising, their lenses glowing brighter, flickering like candles in a draft. You feel the air grow colder, the incense hangs heavier, and then for just a moment the machine stirs, not with movement but with sound, a low hum, a vibration through the floor, a resonance that lingers in your bones. The priests fall to their knees, mechadendrites curling, arms raised high. They do not speak, they do not breathe, they wait. The hum fades, silence returns. The machine has said nothing, but still the priests rise as one, satisfied, serene. To them this was a communion. To them this was divine presence. But you, standing in the shadows, cannot shake the feeling that something unseen was listening. That something vast and ancient stirred for just a moment, like a sleeper turning in its rest. And you cannot help but wonder what it dreams of. The rituals end. The servitors return to their stations, their hollow eyes unblinking. The tech priests disperse, their crimson robes trailing behind them, their mechadendrites coiling lazily. But the air does not feel clean again. The incense still lingers. The static still hums faintly in the corners of your mind. And the silence, oh, the silence is deeper now, heavier. There is peace here, yes, there is order. But beneath it all lies something that is not peace and not order. Something vast, something empty, something waiting. And though the priests would call it holy, you cannot help but feel it is not. The smoke clings heavier tonight, curling in thick tendrils that coil against the stone and cling to the skin like damp fingers. It is not incense now, not truly. It smells of burning fat, sharp and sour beneath the iron tang of oil. The air tastes wrong, like something half-rotten smoldering in the braziers. Yet the priests do not falter. Their voices rise higher, binary hymns breaking into shrill bursts of sound that stab through the silence like blades of static. The machine stands before them, silent as ever, vast as ever, a monument of iron and shadow. And yet the longer you look, the less it feels like a machine. It breathes. You are sure of it now. You can feel the slow intake of air, the faint exhalation, though there are no lungs, no vents. The floor beneath your feet shudders with a rhythm too steady, too natural to be mere vibration. The priests do not question this. They kneel, they whisper, they press their metal hands against its surface as though pressing flesh to holy relics. And then you see what feeds the altar. At first, you think it is another servitor. A body on its knees, stripped to the waist, the skin pale beneath the crimson glow of the forge. But the head is still human, still alive. The eyes dart from side to side, wide and wet, desperate in their motion. The mouth trembles, lips moving in soundless pleas. You lean closer and then you see the truth. Cables run into the spine. Tubes pierce the flesh. The torso has been opened, ribs cracked apart, organs shifted aside to make space for steel. You can see the heart, still beating, pressed against a cradle of wires that pulse with every thrum. The machine drinks from it. Each beat pushes fluid into the tubes, each shudder forcing life away. and the body trembles, but it does not die. It is not allowed. You realize the priests are not repairing the machine. They are feeding it. The binary chant sharpens, growing harsher, each burst of static a spike driven into your skull. The priests sway, mechadendrites lashing and curling as though caught in a storm. They begin to speak with their own voices, harsh and rasping, voices long broken by smoke and augmetics. They do not pray for the machine to live. They pray for it to hunger. The body at the altar writhes, mouth opening in a silent scream. Its throat is raw, torn by too much pleading. You watch the eyes roll back, blood trickling from the corners, as the machine's hum grows deeper, hungrier, louder. The floor shakes now. The walls rattle. The incense burns hotter, acrid smoke forcing tears to your eyes. The machine is drinking. The machine is swallowing. And when the body finally falls still, the heart ruptured, the tubes running dry, another is brought forward. Another trembling figure dragged by two silent servitors. Their arms flail weakly. Their mouth opens in protest, but no words come, only a guttural croak. The priests descend upon them like carrion birds, syringes piercing flesh, blades opening veins. The chanting never stops. The machine never stills. You want to turn away, but the air will not let you. The static pins you in place, the vibration coils in your chest. You are made to watch. You are made to witness. And then something changes. One of the priests turns, slowly, deliberately. His bronze mask catches the red glow of the forge, gleaming like a skull slick with blood. His lenses burn faintly, reflecting the altar's hunger. And you realize they are looking at you, not through you, at you. The chant does not falter, the others do not turn, but this one sees you, and in his gaze you feel the weight of revelation. He does not beckon, he does not speak. He only watches, patient as the cables writhe behind him like a nest of serpents. The machine hums louder. The servitors shift closer. The body on the altar twitches, half dead, half consumed, its organs glistening in the forge light. And through the smoke, through the endless chant, you feel it. A voice. Not in the air, not in the ears, inside your skull. It is not words at first. It is pressure. It is suggestion. A hand against the mind, pressing, prying, peeling away layers. And then through the hum, through the static, comes a sound that is not a sound. A whisper that vibrates in bone, in marrow, in the fragile strands of thought. Join. It is not command. It is invitation. It is not command. It is invitation. The priests fall prostrate, mechadendrites curling tight, voices rising to shrieks of static. The machine groans, its bulk shifting just enough to scream against the stone, iron grinding on iron. Sparks rain down like falling stars, and the whisper grows louder. Join. You feel the weight of the word pressing into you. Your skin prickles. Your teeth ache. Your blood seems to pulse out of rhythm, drawn to the vibration of the altar. You do not move, yet your body sways. You do not speak, yet your lips tremble as though shaping syllables not your own. The priest still watches you, silent, patient. Behind the mask, you imagine the face is not human anymore. Perhaps it never was. Perhaps all that remains is a hollow cavity filled with wires, filled with the whisper. The servitors shuffle closer, their drill arms twitching, their lenses glowing faintly in the smog. They do not blink. They do not falter. They have no will, no choice. But in their stillness, in their hollow obedience, you see the future. You see what waits for you at the end of this path. Flesh opened, mind scraped away. A body half man, half machine, trembling forever in silence. A hollow servant, a tool of worship. And still, somewhere deep inside, the ghost of yourself screaming unheard. The machine groans again, louder, deeper, hungry. The braziers shatter under the vibration, oil splashing across the stones, fire leaping high. The priests do not move to contain it. They do not fear the flames. They let them burn, smoke rising in thick clouds that blot the ceiling. And in the choking dark, the whisper comes once more. Join. The priest raises one hand, pointing. The servitors move, pistons hissing, metal feet dragging across the floor. They reach for you. Slowly, steadily, inevitable as the tide. And you realize too late there is no refusal. The fire burns unchecked. crawling across the stone, licking at the feet of the priests, yet none of them stir. They remain on their knees, bodies rigid, mechadendrites writhing like the arms of drowning men. The flames do not touch them, or perhaps they do and they simply no longer feel. Smoke folds down from the rafters, black and heavy, swallowing the chamber whole, and in the dark the hum grows. It begins as vibration, low and patient, but soon it rises into a groan that rattles the teeth and shakes the ribs. The altar shifts again, iron grinding on iron, stone cracking under its bulk. Sparks leap from the seams where steel meets steel, but they do not die on the ground. They hang in the air, floating like embers of some vast and unseen fire. They drift closer, spiraling, circling. Each one pulses faintly like a heartbeat in miniature. The whisper does not return. It does not need to. The command is already inside you. It presses against every nerve, every vein, every fragile strand of thought. Your pulse quickens, racing in sync with the altar's thrum. Each beat feels too strong, too sharp, like it is trying to tear free from your chest. Your skin crawls with heat, prickling with invisible hands until you cannot tell if you are burning or freezing. The servitors reach you. Their arms are not gentle. Metal closes around flesh with the inevitability of machinery, joints locking with shrill clicks. They do not crush, not yet. They only hold. Their drills twitch in idle spirals, whining softly, like beasts eager for the command to bite. Their breath is only steam, thick and hot against your skin. Their lenses flare with a crimson glow, as if reflecting the altar's endless hunger. The priest who pointed does not move closer. He simply watches. His mask tilts, the faint hiss of breath seeping through its vents. Perhaps he is smiling behind it, or perhaps there is nothing left of him to smile. Your legs fail you. The servitors drag you forward, boots scraping stone, the world lurching in and out of sight as the smoke thickens. The heat is unbearable now, sweat pouring down your skin, though the priests kneel as if the fire is nothing. They do not see the flames as danger. They see only purification. You are brought to the altar. Up close, it no longer resembles a machine. The steel is too warm, the surface is too soft, too uneven. You see the seams where plates meet, but between them something shifts, something pulses. The cables throb like veins, twitching in rhythm with the endless hum. The surface shivers beneath your gaze as though it is aware of being watched. It is not steel, it is not flesh. It is both and neither. It is alive. The body already bound to the altar trembles. It still breathes shallow, ragged, ribs lifting in painful arcs. The eyes roll in their sockets, pupils blown wide, reflecting the forge's glow. The mouth hangs open, froth and blood pooling in the corners. Tubes quiver inside the chest cavity, pumping, siphoning, draining. And still, the heart beats on. The servitors pull you closer, pressing you against the altar's edge. The heat radiates through your clothing, scalding your skin, but the hum pushes back against the pain, dulling it, twisting it into something that feels almost sweet. The whisper stirs again. Closer. Your head swims. The static hums in your skull, drowning out your own thoughts. You cannot remember your own voice. You cannot remember the sound of your name. There is only the vibration, the rhythm, the pulse. The priests rise as one. Their voices break from binary into a single drawn-out note, shrill and piercing, so high it seems it might split the stone. Their mechadendrites unfurl, tips glistening with steel teeth, syringes, hooks. They extend over you like the legs of some vast insect, trembling with anticipation. The bronze-masked priest steps forward at last, and with slow, deliberate grace, he lowers one hand. His fingers are metal, long and thin, each joint clicking as it bends. He does not touch you. He hovers just above your chest as though feeling the rhythm of your heart without contact. The whisper tightens. Open. The mechadendrites strike. Hooks bite into fabric, tearing it away. Steel claws dig shallow furrows into flesh, holding you down as though you weigh nothing. A needle plunges into your neck, flooding you with fire that quickly softens into a haze. The chamber blurs at the edges. Shapes stretch and warp, light bending into halos that ripple like water. The pain recedes, but not because it is gone. It has simply become meaningless. You feel your chest tighten. The hum vibrates against your ribs, shaking them apart from within. Pressure builds higher and higher until it seems something must break. And then, at last, it does. You hear the crack. It does not sound like bone. It sounds like a door opening. The mechadendrites hold you still as the pressure vanishes, replaced by something cold and wet. You cannot see what has been done, only feel it. The air against places the air should never touch, the weight of tubes pressing inside, the pulsing caress of cables wrapping themselves around what lies beneath the skin. The altar drinks. You feel it in your blood. With each beat of your heart, something is pulled away, drawn through the tubes, flowing into the altar's depths. The machine shudders, groaning with pleasure, the hum rising into something like a sigh. Sparks burst from its seams again, falling in cascades that paint the priests in crimson light. They bow lower, their chant breaking into distorted cries of ecstasy, voices half human, half static. Your body trembles, but you cannot move. The fire consumes the walls, smoke swallows the ceiling, and still the altar pulses, still it drinks. The whisper grows softer, almost tender now. You see, you are seen. And then, for the first time, you understand. The altar is not a machine, not truly. It never was. It is a womb, a cradle, a hungry, endless vessel into which flesh and steel are poured, broken down, remade. The priests are not repairing it. They are feeding it. They are shaping it. They are becoming it. And now so are you. The cables dig deeper, weaving through muscle, stitching into bone. Your limbs grow heavy, twitching with alien rhythm. Your thoughts blur, your vision narrows, but you feel the hum rising inside you now, no longer external. It is in your chest, in your marrow. It beats in time with your pulse. It is your pulse. The servitors step back, their work done. They do not watch you with pity or cruelty. They watch you as one might watch a mirror. They know what you are becoming. They know the silence that will follow. The priest lowers his mask close to yours. For a moment, you almost imagine you see eyes within the bronze, faint, glimmering, distant. He tilts his head as though in benediction, and then speaks, not in binary, not in static, but in a whisper you know has no sound. One of us, the chamber quakes. The altar groans, shifting, swelling, cables snapping taut as it drinks deeper. The flames roar higher, the smoke swallows all, and still the hum grows, filling you until there is no space left for anything else. Your heartbeat slows, weakens, then vanishes, but you do not die. You do not fall. You only change. The whisper fades into silence. And in that silence, you realize it was never outside you at all. It was always within. It was always yours. You are the altar now, and the hunger does not end.